How did the sinking of the Titanic create the Super Bowl? On April 15th, 1912, the RMS Titanic hits an iceberg and sinks into the North Atlantic. Over 1,500 people die, one of the biggest disasters in modern history, and it changed way more than ocean travel. The Titanic disaster exposed a massive problem. Wireless radio systems were inconsistent, frequencies were chaotic, emergency signals were not standardized. So governments around the world stepped in. In 1912 and 1913, new international radio laws are passed, standardized frequencies, distress signals, and broadcasting rules. The world suddenly gets something it never really had before: organized, mass reliable communication. And once radio becomes organized and reliable, it stops being just for emergencies, it becomes entertainment. By the 1920s, radio stations realized something important. People love listening to live events, and nothing works better than live sports. In 1921, the first baseball game is broadcast nationally. College football games start being aired coast to coast. By the late 1920s, millions of Americans are gathering around radios every weekend to hear games. The NFL forms in 1920, and radio makes it truly big. Radio turned local teams into national brands. Fans in small towns could suddenly follow teams hundreds of miles away. That concept is the foundation of modern American sports. Radio eventually leads directly to television. Same networks, same audiences, same idea, just with pictures now. By the 1950s and 60s, TV explodes. The NFL realizes something powerful. Big games plus national broadcasts equals massive money. In 1967, the NFL and AFL create a championship game for television, a single event designed specifically for a national audience, the Super Bowl. Today, the Super Bowl gets over 100 million viewers. It's the biggest annual TV event in America, and it's basically a national holiday with commercials. This was all built on the idea of mass broadcasting. And mass broadcasting only became organized and reliable because the Titanic went down, regulations were created, radio was standardized, and live sports became national entertainment. So technically an iceberg didn't just break the Titanic, it also broke the NFL onto the scene. So did the Titanic disaster create the Super Bowl? Indirectly, it absolutely did. The biggest event in American sports history, brought to you by one very unlucky boat.